So we're going to do some exercises to help girth pain in horses, and Norman's very kindly volunteered to be the mannequin today and helping us with that. So the first exercise we're going to go through is actually just getting the chest to move in such a way that it's engaging the spine and the ribs at the same time, and engaging all the muscles that actually support the girth area and the shoulder girdle and the front of the chest, so we can see how things move together, but also we want to encourage a little bit of extra movement. This should be done after a professional's freed up your horse, so it's not to be a standalone thing. It's really to help enhance what your professional help has done to improve the mobility of the spine. So we're going to start with the hand at the front is going to work on the contact the sternum right here. So you're just going to cup the front of the sternum. The other one is going to go underneath the chest, and we're just going to start very lightly, and the action is going to be, if I can swap my hands around, is going to be coming forward with the sternum and lifting backwards with our hand. So moving this way and this way. So it's just getting a flowing motion in the chest. And this is really good for re-coordinating the muscles in the chest, because there's a lot of relearning to do. We're going to be just nudging backwards and nudging backwards from underneath, and moving that in a rhythmic fashion. And you can see him moving backwards and forwards, and from the front you can see how his pectoral muscles are readjusting his posture all the time. And you should do this for at least a minute at a time, and just slowly and gently. And they should be, the professionals should have got them comfortable through the belly here, so that my hand underneath should be quite comfortable. And the aim is to get them to progressively lift their back like you would with a chest lift, but in a more gentle way. And at the same time, the horse very often will drop their head. So some horses find it a bit confronting because you're taking over their breathing a bit, but most of the horses, if they're free enough in the spine, will allow you to do it. And this really enhances the connection between all the muscles, the ribs and the vertebrae, all working together. That's one of the main exercises we want to do. The other one we want to do is a series of neck stretches. And we normally start with lunging over poles, and then we go into the neck stretches, and then we go on to these chest motion exercises. But the neck exercises are a mixture of standard ones that are common to use and an extra one. So I prefer a molasses-based horse lick of some sort, but you can use treats to get them to come out wide and then around towards their hip bone. You can also get them coming towards their stifle and from their fetlock. I find carrots are a bit of a tease for the horse, because you're actually asking them to come and hold and not get it straight away most of the time. You don't mind your carrots, do you? The other standard one, of course, is coming down in between the front legs, and you don't want to drop them down too low that they actually buckle in their knees, but down between the front legs and holding there. And the extra one that I was talking about is to put your back to their shoulder. It's over here. Back to their shoulder and actually come out wide. And this time we're extending him forward and get him to stretch right through. And this is to stretch him through under the shoulder blades and right back to the opposite side hoof. So it's a stretch right through all the fascial chains of the body back to the front hoof. I've run out of carrots, Norman, sorry. These neck stretches are super important to help this area here as well as help the neck itself. These exercises should be repeated twice ideally, and ideally with them, if they're licking a molasses lick, then you can actually bring them around slowly and just let them lick as they go, using their jaw less, which reduces the interference that the jaw is actually masking what's happening in the body for the brain. And by coming around, they're just enjoying their time around licking at the molasses lick. And it becomes a nicer thing for them, to me, rather than what might be for some horses a bit of a tease, that we're holding it and waiting and then they get it. So it's a sort of a process that's not so much fun for them. These neck exercises and even the chest easing, if you like, ideally should be repeated twice, and you should do that at least every second day, if not every day. And it's to me an essential part of helping maintain comfort through this region. The next exercise we'll go through is one that we're going to do directly on the spine. And what we're going to be doing is, if this was the spine from the front, we're going to be actually gripping it from the other side with just a couple of fingers over the tip of the vertebrae, and we're just going to be nudging the vertebrae sideways just a few millimeters and working our way along the wither. We're just contacting with our fingers on the other side and just very gently nudging each vertebrae a little bit to us. And this should be gentle, and it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for the vertebrae that aren't totally happy. But it's going to be encouraging it's going to help the nervous system to get back to a proper frame of action. It's going to help reprogram the nervous system to cope with better or more correct movement of the spine through the upper thoracic area. You should do it on the other side as well. And just doing once each side is probably enough at one session. But this is aimed at stimulating the connections between the spine and the brain. Righto, the third exercise we're going to do is to work on the shoulder girdle alone. So we're going to be making a contact on the back of the elbow here. So we've got the point of the elbow and the back of it, and we're going to be lifting that. We're going to actually just gently encourage it to come upwards, if you like. The other contact is on the front of the point of the shoulder, and we're going to be coming in close to my body to do this one. And this is the aim of this one, is to take the point of the shoulder downwards. And what we're aiming to do is to rotate the shoulder through this sort of motion and shorten these muscles here. So the actual action of it is because we're shortening these muscles and also taking the pressure off the ones below. And we do that mainly by moving him across a little bit in a second. So he's weighting the other side. It'll take the pressure off these inside muscles, and by shortening it, we're taking the pressure off these ones. And what that's allowing is allowing the body to unwind through this shoulder girdle, because that gets wound up when they've had chronic dysfunction that's occurred through the upper thoracic spine. So again, getting in close here and around at the elbow, we're lifting up. And we need the horse just fairly straight while this is happening. And we want him to breathe through it. It's a very gentle, very subtle thing, but it can make a real difference to the horse. To do this, what you'll hear quite often is little clicks or pops underneath the shoulder blade. You'll often get a horse relaxing and licking and chewing while this is being done. If he's not thinking about carrots, that is, at the time. And you'll get even more relaxation through this whole region. And you can maintain a bit of pressure there and also continue to the belly and do a bit of a chest lift at the same time, and then go back to your elbow and just hold that stance there, and it will help release all this muscle here and take the tension off and ease the pain through this area if they've got any. And I think that'll do. Thank you.